This is part 6, the conclusion of my review on Rockwell trading and the PowerX optimizer software. In my conclusion, I will go over my likes and dislikes about my Rockwell trading experience. I will answer the 16 key questions about the course and software, and then end with my opinion. So the likes, the things I like. The channel has great content. I really like how Marcus systematically handled the big down move on January 27th. It showed that he was an experienced trader. And it is good to watch how other experienced traders deal with drawdowns. Also, the training videos and website are very well organized. The training videos are very professional. They explain concepts in detail and they get to the point. And also, when it's time to navigate back to find information, it's easy to find. Also, I like that I had excellent support. Whenever I had a question, it was answered right away. In fact, Marcus answered a lot of the questions in his YouTube video, and I did not even need to ask his support team. And Marcus does not run away from tough situations. He takes them head on. And I'm sure all his students get all their questions answered. And this is a sign of a quality instructor. Another good thing is that I did make 4.8% over a 4-week period with the wheel strategy. Also, what I really like is that Marcus shows his P&L. And this is the #1 thing that creates credibility. Now, as far as dislikes, it was hard to find stocks that qualified when I was building the stock portfolio. I couldn't get it fully allocated. It was difficult to get also the long options portfolio fully allocated. In fact, after 4 weeks, I had no long options in the portfolio. What I don't like also is he does not share his P&L on a stock portfolio using PowerX Optimizer or a long options portfolio using the PowerX Optimizer software. I recently got some feedback from Marcus on this topic, and he says that the market conditions currently are not right to place orders for his stock portfolio or long options portfolio right now. He says the market is choppy and better suited for the wheel strategy. Now, last month in January 2021, it was a choppy, non-trending market. But who knows what the future has in store. Today is February 8th, and the market has been trending upward to all-time highs since the beginning of February. So far this month has been an upward trending type market. Next, as far as dislikes, sometimes adding a short stock can be tricky to the stock portfolio. You go through all the filters of the software, you have this stock, you want to go short, and then it's possible that it's not available to borrow and therefore cannot be added to the portfolio. That gets a little frustrating. And then also you need to take note when this happens, because the next day that particular stock that couldn't be shorted could have hit its trigger, and then you need to look at it to see if you can buy a long put. In other words, it's possible to add it to your long options portfolio. And this can be tricky to remember. Also, I received so many emails on my inbox that when I wanted to go back and ask a question to support, I could not easily find the email. So I just sent an email through the support tab in the PowerX Optimizer software. And I did get a response right away, so that worked out well. But the main point is, expect a lot of emails if you sign up with Rockwell Trading. Having to wait 3 to 4 hours after the market closes and then go back in and try to place orders every night can be a hard habit to form. I prefer to trade once a day and be done with it. I only look at my portfolio once per day, usually for about 30 seconds. But during this review, I had to remember to get in front of the computer every night, no matter what was going on. Also, another thing I don't like are the results of the stock portfolio being down 13.58%. and the long options portfolio being down 6.98%. Next, I'm going to get into the 16 key questions to ask when I review a course. Number 1, do you share your portfolio P&L and your portfolio volatility? Well, the answer is yes for the wheel strategy, but no for the stock portfolio and no for the long option portfolio. But Marcus did say that when he does add to those particular portfolios, he will show the P&L. Number 2, what is your edge? Well, the edge is the Power X Optimizer software. Number 3, is the course proprietary? Well, the answer is yes, because the software is proprietary. Number 4, what kind of returns should I expect? And I've heard Marcus mention 30 to 60% per year with the wheel strategy, and I don't recall what he said with the stock or long options. Number 5, is the system directional? Well, there's 3 systems, 2 are directional and 1 is not. Number 6, do you recommend buying option premium? In other words, placing low probability trades. And the answer is out of the 3 portfolios, the answer is yes in 1 of the portfolios. Number 7, have you back tested and forward tested the system? The answer is no, but forward tests are being done right now on 1 of the 3 portfolios. Number 8, do you trade with objective rules? I would say that he's getting there for the most part, but there still are some improvements that still need to be made to make it totally black and white. And let me also say about this, he's got the most probably objective rules that I've seen, unless you're actually following somebody with an alert service. Number 9, does your trade plan take into account commissions and slippage? The answer is yes. Number 10, what is the highest margin requirement that your trade plan will allow? And Marcus has his margin under control. Number 11, do you show real trade execution with real money? Well, the answer is yes on 1 portfolio, but no on the other 2. Number 12, in back tests, what were the drawdowns? That's unknown because there was no back test data. Number 13, do you have a money management plan? And the answer is yes. And this is a big yes because I do not see money management plans very often. They're very few and far between, so I have to give Marcus credit for this. Number 14, is the trading system tax advantaged? The answer is no. Number 15, do I need to be in front of my computer all day in order to trade the system? Well, the answer is no, but you do need to be in front of it at night and a little bit during the day. Number 16, do you share all the trades made in your account as you trade them? And the answer to that is yes on 1 of the 3 portfolios and no on 2 of them. So here's my opinion. And as you know, I use the Power X Optimizer to manage 3 separate portfolios. Those are 3 portfolios that are offered by using the Power X Optimizer software. Portfolio number 1 was stocks only. Portfolio number 2 was long options only, and portfolio 3 was the wheel strategy. I had a hard time finding enough stocks to fully allocate my stock portfolio. My goal was to maintain 5 stocks, and I was normally only able to execute and manage around 3 stocks on average. And the reason was, when filtering for a potential stock to add to the portfolio, most stocks would get eliminated based on the chart. Then the ones that made it through would only be added if they hit a trigger price to get you in. And the trigger price didn't really get hit as much as you might think. And you can also see the statistics that I had based on my spreadsheet. I was able to enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 trades that closed out. And of that, none of them actually were winners. And you can see how much I was down. And then on the long options portfolio, I was able to enter and complete 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 positions. This is over a 4-week period. And none of those actually made any money either. One thing I'd like to point out, when I talk about low probability trades, you can see it right here. Look at this ADT, where it was opened on the 12th, closed on the 26th, based on the Power X Optimizer. I followed all the rules. And it actually broke even on the stock portfolio. I actually opened the price at $8.89 and closed it at $8.89 based on what the software told me to do. When I look at ADT on the long options portfolio, using the exact same rules, the exact same entry and exit, you can see that I actually lost money. And that's because this trade with long options is low probability. In other words, even if you break even with a stock, you can lose money. So you basically lose money more often than you make money when you buy option premium. Now, the long options portfolio was also difficult to fully allocate my positions. My goal is to have 5 positions, but I averaged maybe only 2 or 3. The reason was, well, I had the same problem as the stock portfolio. I would filter out stocks, and then the ones left over would not hit an opening price trigger. This portfolio was even harder to allocate, as some of the stocks that qualified did not even have options that were liquid enough to purchase. The overall portfolio ended down 6.98% after 4 weeks. The indicators that the PowerX optimizer uses may or may not work. The thing is, how do you manage money around those indicators and come out ahead? When I add money management in with technical analysis, it just has never worked for me. And this time was no different. I don't see an edge. Based on the information from using the software for 4 weeks, I would personally not use it for a stock or long option portfolio. I would encourage Marcus to run a stock portfolio and a long options portfolio live, showing his P&L using the PowerX Optimizer software on his YouTube channel for everyone to see. Maybe he can show that it actually works. It just didn't work for me. Now, the wheel strategy was the third portfolio. You may remember that I thought this strategy may do well because it uses the edge that options provide. The edge is selling option premium because implied volatility is higher than realized volatility about 83% of the time. Now, the problem with the wheel strategy is that 17% of the time. The wheel strategy is not hedged properly. When you sell options premium, you can make money, but then just lose it all back when the trade structure is not sophisticated enough to account for certain market types. As far as Rockwell's specific wheel strategy, it needs to be better defined, in my opinion. Maybe Marcus's new book shows those details. When I sell a covered call against my long stock, I did not find any clear-cut rules on which option to sell. I would like to see a specific delta in the call defined. For example, sell the 30 delta call or 40 delta call. It would be nice to see the software do this for me, as it is able to pick out the short put. In my book, I go over the 4 market types for option premium sellers. And they are the rising bull, the sideways, the grind down, and the crash market. The wheel works great in the rising bull and sideways market. The problem is the grind down and crash markets. The wheel may survive these type of markets if the market recovers quickly, but there will be significant drawdowns. Also, if the market takes a long time to recover, like in 2008 when it took around 4 years, you're going to lose money. Now, my wheel account was profitable over the 4 weeks, and Marcus's wheel account, in which he shares his P&L, was also up. And that is because selling option premium has an edge. In the right market, the wheel strategy works. And in the last 4 weeks, we have been in the right market. As far as the wheel strategy, I'm sure Marcus may disagree and say that it is an overall profitable trading system. Now, I would not put my money into a wheel strategy because I know of many better trade structures to invest in. So the bottom line when it comes to using the PowerX Optimizer to pick stocks for the wheel strategy, I think it can be helpful. I personally would not use it, but I think it could be helpful. If he continues to show his P&L, then he will either make it or he won't. So the pressure is not really on me to judge. The fact that Marcus shows his P&L makes it easy to say positive things about him. I don't need to try to prove anything. He's laying it all on the line. If he makes money, then he's credible. If he loses money, eventually it will come out. The only thing I hope is that he continues to show his P&L over the long run. I don't want him to be one of those temporary P&L guys like Sang Lucci. So on the positive side, I think Rockwell Trading checks off most of the boxes when asked the key questions. And I think his YouTube channel has a lot of value.